workflow.
Yes.
Asante.
Good. Okay, thank you very much once more. Good evening, and thank you for coming. Although we were coming quietly, but we are happy that you're here because we were not coming secretly. We were only coming quietly. Tumefika hapa na tuko na leadership yetu ya this region. We have the regional commissioner for Coast region. We have the county commissioner for, tuko na security team ya hapa, na tuko na other officers ambao tumetoka nao Nairobi. Tumekuja hapa kutembelea chief wetu wa hapa. We have come to pay a courtesy call on our chief Jilani Mongo, ambaye ni chief wa Mtwapa, na hatukuwa tumemwambia. Tumesema kwa sababu ni ofisa wetu, ni vizuri tukuje tuone vile anafanyanga kazi, kwa sababu tukikaa kule Nairobi hatuwezi tukajua maofisa wetu vile ile hali ambao wanafanya kazi, mandhari na hata vifaa ambavyo wako navyo vya kazi. Kwa hivyo tumekuja hapa, tumekutana na chief, ametulaki na ametueleza pamoja na hao wenzangu vile anaendelea na kazi, na tumefurahishwa. Sasa ni karibu saa 11 na chief wetu ako kazini, na ni mtu ambaye ni kama ako sawasawa kikazi. Hapa pia tuko na assistant chiefs wetu ule ambaye ako hapa. Tulikuwa pia tunataka kuangalia maofisi yao vile wanafanyanga kazi. Tumeona ya kwamba kuna sababu kubwa ya kusaidia maofisa wetu wa ngao ili wawe na maofisi ambayo yako na hali nzuri ya kufanyia kazi. Niseme ya kwamba serikali iko na madhumuni ya kuboresha utendakazi katika sekta zote, na katika wizara hii ya mambo ya ndani tunataka kuhakikisha kwamba maofisa wetu ambao ni maofisa wa utawala wanapewa changamoto ama wanaongezewa changamoto kwa kusaidia hao katika hali yao ya kazi. Wanapewa nafasi nzuri ya kufanya kazi, na wanapewa nafasi nzuri ya kuhudumia wananchi, kwa sababu hawa ndio macho ya serikali katika mashinani, na hao pia vile ndio wanatusaidia kupata habari ya vile mambo hiko kwa mwananchi wa kawaida hapa mashinani. Kwa hivyo tumeona ya kwamba kuna kazi ambayo lazima tuwasaidie kama wizara ili waendelee kufanya kazi yao vyema. So I want to take this opportunity first and foremost to thank our chief for Mtwapa. We have paid a courtesy call on him. We had not told him that we are coming, and we are happy we have found him in office. We have found him working. He has taken all of us through what he's been doing and what he does on a daily basis. We are very satisfied with the chief here, and we want to send a message to all our chiefs across the country, assistant chiefs and other cadres of the national government administration officers who are in the grassroots, that we are supporting them and we want to stand behind them as they deliver services at the grassroots, and we are going even to work very hard to improve their environment, their working environment, to make sure that they deliver security and they are able to articulate government policy more clearly and more effectively. We have learned from our chief here, and I think that is the challenge across the country, that there is need to enhance some of the things that are required to make the Ngao officers, especially at this level, a little more effective. And one of the things we want to ensure is that every chief and every assistant chief has a good office. We will collaborate with the members of parliament and other leaders to ensure that either through CDF or through other government funds that are available, we are able to build good offices for our chiefs and assistant chiefs so that they can serve the people. We will ensure that every chief's office and assistant chief's office is even secured so that it is secure enough. Wananchi can come there, get services, and feel that they're in a safe place. We are expecting to announce certain policy measures in terms of how we want our chiefs to serve the public. And starting 1st of December, we want to ensure that chiefs, every chief has a service charter which is prominently displayed for those who come to seek services in the office to see. The service charter should not be located inside the chief's office. It must be outside the office, and we will work with them to ensure that we provide a standardized service charter which can withstand weather and which can be displayed in an open place for wananchi to see. In the long term, we would like to translate those service charters into Kiswahili, which is the national language, because majority of the people who come to seek services at this level especially will not be in a position to understand English, because especially the older citizens who come to seek services at this level. So we will require every chief to prominently display the service charter so that wananchi can know what services are offered by the chief, the timelines taken to deliver that service, and if that service requires the payment of government fees, how much it is, so that we do not have any gray areas in terms of whether or not that service has a fee attached to it. In most cases, you'll find that the services required at this level are free of charge. So we will work with the teams here, the regional commissioner, the county commissioners, and the DCCs to ensure that we implement that in the shortest time possible. As I have said, from 1st of December, that should be the position. We will also be expecting the chiefs to have service registers which can be inspected by their seniors within the ranks. The service register will record what the chief does on a daily basis, the kind of services they offer, and this will enhance accountability and openness within this service delivery point. Thirdly, we will expect the work plans. I know many chiefs across the country have work plans, but we want to standardize and make it mandatory and verifiable that every chief across the country has a work plan, so that we know how much time a chief spends in the office, how much time a chief spends in barazas, how much time a chief spends in other activities that are associated with their functions, so that there can be a good balance between office work and field work. So we are therefore looking at standard, formal and verifiable service charters, together with service registers and work plans for all chiefs across the country, effective 1st December 2022. We have also noticed that there has been a change of policy in the last few months, and because the Ngao is within the larger Interior Ministry and Interior State Department, we are working towards reorganizing ourselves between the Ngao officers and the police to ensure, as it was before, that every chief has police officers attached to them to enable them be able to enforce law and order. At the moment, all the police are at the police station, and we are working with between the police and the Ngao to make sure that we harmonize that. I am therefore directing the State Department for Interior to work towards a process of enabling every chief to have security at their disposal, to enhance security at chiefs' offices, but also to assist the chiefs in enforcing law and order. Therefore, we would want to work towards that effective 1st January 2022 to ensure that chiefs are enabled to enforce law and order, even as much as the police also continue working on general law and order enforcement in the normal way. The last thing I wanted to say is that we also know that we have other cadres below the chief, and that is the assistant chiefs. We have nyumba kumi, and we have village elders. We are working towards a policy statement, perhaps in the next 1 or 2 months, on the policy of government that will guide the operations at that level of nyumba kumi and village elders. And therefore, I just want to send this message to all our officers and all people who are helping us in this sector, from the lowest level to the highest level. We have you in mind. We are working towards making sure that you are facilitated to deliver. We will also be announcing measures that will improve the already existing transport arrangements for our chiefs and assistant chiefs, and that is work in progress, which will be announced in a short while. So today is Chiefs Day, and I know the other cadres also would want us to speak to them and of them. We will do that in a short while. We just thought that in line with the Kenya Kwanza model of bottom-up, let us start this way as we go towards Nairobi and make sure that every cadre of our officers is given attention, facilitated and empowered. The flip side is that as we work towards improving the working environment for our officers, we expect efficiency, and we expect police office, we had the police yesterday, today is Ngao. We expect Ngao officers to help government, and the help that we need is not political help. The president and who is the leader of our country has already made it clear that he doesn't want public officers engaged in politics. And therefore, all our officers, please note that the kind of help that the government requires of you is the help of using your office to communicate government policy at your area of jurisdiction. Positive things about government. Please sensitize the public about government programs. For example, we have a tree planting campaign to plant 5 billion trees in the next 5 years. That should be the role of the chiefs and assistant chiefs, to make sure wananchi are sensitized that unless we plant trees, our country is becoming a desert. Initially, we had a few areas known as ASALs. Today, many counties, even which traditionally used to receive adequate rain, cannot get enough rain. So those are some of the examples where the work of Ngao becomes critical. Similarly, we have other programs. We have immunization programs. We have civil registration programs. We have the issue of school children and transition from one level to the other level of school children. Those are the things we want to hear. So generally we are happy, and I want to thank the RC and the security team here in the Coast Province. In the past we have had a lot of issues, but in recent months we have had stability, even if there are incidents of crime. The Ngao officers here, the law enforcement officers, the police are doing a good job to make Mombasa and Coast Province a good place for citizens and all the other people who are residing here lawfully. So we want to say we will continue being vigilant to make sure that the drug menace, which has affected Mombasa for a very long time and the coast region, is eradicated completely. We also want our children to go to school and learn, and therefore chiefs and the entire Ngao framework is requested and reminded that we need to continue being vigilant to make sure that our children are in school, and cultural practices that draw our children from school should be dealt with and should be discouraged. So I want to thank you for coming and wish you well. At least today I have seen the office of my assistant chief. It doesn't look very good. We will find a way of making sure that we have a standard what an office of an assistant chief should look like, including the quality of the building, not just the size of the building. And going forward, we want to make sure that chiefs are enabled to enforce the law and also to articulate government policy. That's all for this afternoon.
Questions? How many police officers?
The decision will be made, but at the moment we believe that a chief should have at least 5 police officers, so that at every given time he has at his disposal, a few officers who can assist him in enforcing the law. But 5 is a good number for a start. We are also grappling with other security challenges which are unique in nature. So this conversation will be going on, but to answer your question, perhaps 5 officers per chief should be the deployment, subject to the adjustments that we want to make to ensure that we also have our police deployed to critical issues of maintenance of national security. A police officer is a police officer. Police officer is a police officer.
Waziri, swali moja hapa. Waziri, a question please.
Introduce yourself please.
My name is Maitha from Media Max.
Aha.
Juzi tumeona kwamba Nairobi kulikuwa na mikakati maalum ya usalama.
Naam.
Katika baadhi ya kaunti za kaunti ya Mombasa, some part of Likoni and Kisauni, bado kuna visa vya uhalifu.
Okay.
Maybe are we going to see a similar arrangement ambao kama vile ambao mfano Nairobi kwamba kuna special groups of officers of patrol? That's my first question. Alafu swali langu lingine kwamba juzi tusema kwamba we want to review the welfare of police officers. We have the resources as we speak. Kwa Kiswahili
Asante sana kwa hayo maswali. Kwanza kabisa, kama nilivyosema juzi wakati nilikuwa na mkutano na makamanda wa polisi kutoka nchi nzima, tumekuwa na shida ya utovu wa usalama pale Nairobi, lakini vile katika sehemu zingine, katika miji mikuu ikiwemo Mombasa, kumekuwa na shida ya utovu wa usalama, lakini shida ambayo iko Nairobi ilikuwa imeanza kuzorota kidogo zaidi ya miji mingine. Ni kweli kuna sehemu chache katika mji wa Mombasa ambazo tunahitaji kuongeza doria na kuongeza hali ya usalama, na ile hatua ambayo tumechukua Nairobi tumeanza kuchukua vile hapa Mombasa na katika sehemu nyingine ambazo tuko na ripoti ya magenge na vijana ambao wanasumbua wananchi, kuwapora mali yao, na saa zingine hata tumekuwa na visa vya mauaji. Ya pili, kuhusu mambo ya mishahara na marupurupu ya maofisa wa polisi, tutakuwa na matangazo ambayo itatangazwa na Mheshimiwa Rais mwenyewe katika siku chache ambazo zinakuja.
Waziri, swali langu moja tu. Naitwa Boniface Msangi kutoka K24. Kuja na hii kwa matokeo gani?
I think machifu wetu kama nilivyoanza ni watu wazuri. Sisi tuko na imani na maofisa wetu wa ngao na kama kuna ofisa mmoja ama wawili ambaye amezembea kazini, tumekuwa tukichukua hatua za kinidhamu. Lakini kwa maoni yangu kama waziri wa hii sekta, wa hii wizara, machifu wetu ni watu ambao ni watu wa bidii. Hii chata itasaidia kwa sababu mwananchi ataweza kujua ni nini haswa anaweza uliza chifu wake, na kama ako na jambo shida aina fulani, ni muda gani ambao unahitajika kutatua hiyo shida. Kwa hivyo itaongeza hii chata itaongeza uwajibikaji wa machifu wetu. Kwa hivyo inasaidia machifu wetu wenyewe, na pia inasaidia wale wananchi ambao wanapata huduma, kwa sababu chief yeye mwenyewe ameweka pale, amesema ile mambo anapaswa kusema, muda ambayo unatakikana kufanya. Kwa hivyo amejiwekea wewe mwenyewe pressure, na sio lazima angojee kukumbusha kwamba lile jambo lazima litendeke. Vile vile mwananchi atakuwa anajua kile ambacho anatarajia kwa muda gani, na kama kuna malipo yoyote iwe ni malipo ambayo ni malipo ya serikali ambayo yameidhinishwa kulingana na sheria. Kwa hivyo hii ni ya kuongeza uwazi. This administration wants government to be open and transparent and accountable to the citizens. And that is why we are insisting service charters, even where they exist, must be displayed in a prominent place. And then we make sure also there is enough security so that they are not damaged by either passers-by or even the elements of the weather.
Labda wakosoaji wa serikali watasema kwamba hizo ukiwapatia chief mamlaka
lazima awe na nguvu, na hii nguvu ni nguvu ya serikali na nguvu ya kisheria, sio nguvu ambayo ni nguvu kinyume ya sheria. Ni vizuri chief wawe na nguvu ili mambo ya usalama waunge mkono ile kazi inafanywa katika sekta ya usalama. Na chief akiwa na nguvu, ni nguvu ya kuhudumia mwananchi. Umesikia ya kwamba serikali imesema haitaki machifu kuhusika katika maneno ya siasa ama maneno ambayo hayahusiani na kazi yao. Nimetaja mifano ya kazi ambazo chief anatakikana afanye. Na kwa hiyo mambo ya kazi ya chief, siasa haiko hapo, uhalifu haiko hapo. Kwa hivyo hii nguvu ya chief sio kama nguvu ya zamani. Chief wa zamani walikuwa wanapiga watu kiholela. Zimu wa zamani wakati ule walikuwa wanachukua mali ya wananchi kwa sababu wako na nguvu. Hii nguvu ya chief ni ya kushika watu ambao wanauzia watoto wetu mihadarati, ni ya kushika watu ambao wanavunja manyumba ya watu. Na kama chief hana askari atasaidiaje? Na chief ndio yako karibu na mwananchi, labda kwa eneo fulani police station ni moja iko pale, na OCS yako na mambo mengi ambayo anataka kufanya. Ni lazima wasaidiane na chief ili mambo ambayo yanatokea katika vitongoji, katika vijiji yanasuluhishwa haraka. I repeat, we want to empower chiefs. We want chiefs and other Ngao officers to have more authority. But this is not authority to harass citizens. This is not authority to intimidate innocent citizens. This authority is not for doing politics. There are enough politicians to do politics. They will engage fellow politicians in the normal way. They will try to persuade each other. Whether a politician is in government or a politician is in the opposition, they must be given the respect they require as leaders, and they must not be intimidated because of their political inclination, because democracy, our country is a democracy, and democracy is a choice, and you cannot force people to agree with you politically unless you want to persuade them. Persuasion is allowed, but you cannot force people to align to any whatever. So we don't expect, in fact, the Public Officer Ethics Act, Section 16, prohibits any public officer from participating in political activities. It requires public officers to remain neutral and apolitical, and not to support any political party, including the party that is in government or the party that forms government. Should not be supported by our officers. So we want to professionalize them, so that when a citizen sees a chief, an assistant chief, a DCC, a ACC, when he sees a regional commissioner, they see a messenger who is able to tell them what the government is doing and planning for Mwananchi. They also see an intermediary, someone who is collecting views from Mwananchi to give the leadership in government, so that the problems that Mwananchi is facing can be addressed. They want to see an enabler. They want to see someone who is helping them deal with the challenges they face every day. Security challenges, challenges in farming, agriculture. How can a chief be the medium through which farmers can get empowered together with the other officers we have in the various sectors. We don't want chiefs to be doing politics. We don't want chiefs to be doing other things. And this applies also to police and all the other government officials who are in the public service.
Bwana Waziri, swali la mwisho. Mimi ni Michael Otieno kutoka Msenango FM. Wahudumu wa barabara.
Serikali inanuia kuondoa maneno ya roadblock kwa barabara. Lakini hiyo itachukua muda, kwa sababu lazima tuwe na mpango wa kuintroduce cameras, IC3 facilities in our roads. Ndiposa mambo ya traffic we need to reduce our police officers standing on the road for the whole day, even if they are not taking bribes. That in itself, when they stand there the whole day, stopping vehicles, inspecting vehicles, and whatever. So we need to improve that aspect of road safety management by installing cameras, but also reducing what traffic police can do. There are ways of even having a few roadblocks which will remain necessary because of the threats that our country continues to face from terrorism and trafficking in persons, which is in certain areas. So we'll need a few roadblocks which will do that bit, and even in those roadblocks, the surveillance will be mainly electronic. Not a policeman, opening the boot of your car and turning upside down your mats in the car. We will have a program of ensuring that we use technology to improve on road safety. It is true there have been reported incidents of bribery, and we want to send a warning to all our police officers who are taking bribes. They must stop it immediately. We will be ruthless. And the same way you have seen the minister come to visit Chief Jilani Mongo without notice, we will be visiting them from where they work from. And if anybody who is caught collecting money from Mwananchi, stuffing it in the pockets and socks, that one is not a person who is supposed to be in the police service. It's supposed to be elsewhere. But nevertheless, we know our police officers, the majority of them are doing a good job. They are doing a good job under very difficult circumstances. So when you see a police officer, see someone who is helping your security, someone who is watching over you even when you are asleep. But the few that are engaged in corruption, either on the roads or elsewhere, we will not be sympathetic to them and will take stern action unapologetically, because they are spoiling the image of their colleagues. Asanteni sana, Mungu awabariki.